A democratic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene alongside from the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Yes, we missed you yesterday as well.
I was stuck on top of the mountain next to the Grinch, and he wouldn't let me use his damn sled to get to the bottom.
He might have let you use it, but I don't know that that would have turned out in your favor.
Look, yesterday was one of those days that I looked at the driveway and I said, I have two options. I can not do this, or I can do it and possibly die.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with no. I love you, but no.
We're glad you made that decision. We're glad you're all safe and along with us for the ride here on a Friday. Obviously, yesterday, the big news in the NFL, Carson Wentz being traded from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Indianapolis Colts. I still believe that the Indianapolis Colts won that deal walking away.
I don't. People keep saying that, and I don't get it. I do not understand how you think this was a walk. What did you expect them to get for him?
Philadelphia?
Yes.
I expected them to get a 1
They did.
this year.
They did get a 1.
Next year.
Okay. In what scenario is this team good this year? I mean, give me one. In what world are you better than 6-10 this coming season? I'll give you a hint. There's not one.
No, they're not.
I don't care if they had gotten the first pick, second pick in the fucking draft. They weren't going to be good this year.
Uh-huh.
So what they did is gave themselves a blip year. So now we're going to throw Jalen Hurts out there for 16 games. He's going to be an abject disaster because the league has tape on him now. Our pick will be better next year. We're going to get a 1 from the Colts because he's, barring Wentz gets hurt,
right,
he's going to play 75% of the snaps, and they're going to make the playoffs. You just delay it. By the way, it's kind of beneficial to start that rookie clock next year as opposed to this year.
Why is
because
that?
This team sucks, and they're going to lose a ton because they're way over the cap. So this is your blip year. Just suck. Wipe the books clean. Take the dead cap hits. Have the cap next year. I do not for the life of me understand why people keep saying the Eagles got worked in this. This is this is markedly better than what I thought they were going to get. I said it was a 1, period.
Okay.
That was what the Philly was holding out for, was a 1. Well, you got a 1. And you got a 3 this year that's a young player that you can add for this upcoming year. I think the NBA skews what people think about trades. You see Paul George goes for 7 number 1s. What's the NBA? If it's not the top 5, it doesn't fucking matter. The chances of you hitting on an all-star outside of the lottery are about 1 in 200. You get about 1 every 5 years.
Right.
They don't matter. And most of those are pick swaps. And guess what? You can't do that in the NFL. They don't let you.
Yeah. I guess in my opinion, I look at Indianapolis and I go, they really didn't give up a whole lot to get Carson Wentz to come over.
Giving up a 1 is a whole lot. Anytime any player you give up a first-round pick for is a lot. Especially in the climate of the NFL right now. Especially when you're paying that contract. Now, the beauty for the Colts, the guaranteed money stayed with Philly.
Yep.
So they're getting a player who has been MVP caliber for $25 million a year, which is a hell of a value.
He's been MVP caliber once, though, and that's the detractors on the Indianapolis side of saying he did it in 2017. Can he do it again?
Well, he's only played 4 years, and 2 of them he had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. So, okay. I mean, what's better? All right, you tell me a better quarterback that's going to switch teams this offseason.
A better quarterback than Carson Wentz? Deshaun Watson.
You don't know that he's going to switch teams. The Texans have drawn a line in the sand, which I think is dumb as hell.
I feel pretty certain about it.
You shouldn't, because I'll tell you right now, people in NFL circles don't.
Really?
There has been a lot of talk of this could be brought to an ugly head.
Well, it's going to be. I mean, if he's not moved, it's definitely going to be time to make a decision.
Okay, and now think about what you just said. All right, so Deshaun Watson's going to be the best quarterback traded. Not available to the Colts. They play in the same fucking division. They're not sending him to Indy. Oh, Matthew Stafford's better. Matthew Stafford's 33 years old. We just did this. It was Phillip Rivers. We would like to have a little bit more long-term of a solution.
Right. And Carson Wentz is definitely that.
Huh?
Carson Wentz is a guy that they can keep around for a long time.
And they will. And he will be good. And 4 years from now, he'll be one of the best values in the NFL. At $25 million a year, when you've got guys like, Baker Mayfield making $40 million a year. To me, it's a great deal for Indy. It's a great deal for Philadelphia.
Philadelphia gets out from under the big contract over the next few years because he was still owed like $40 million or something like that per year.
They're eating the biggest dead cap charge in NFL history.
$33 million in dead cap hit.
And I'll be honest with you, smart.
Yeah.
It's 1 year. You're done with it. This year, you're going to be god awful. And by the way, I want you to think about what I'm getting ready to say. Do you know how many teams in the NFL carried more money forward last year than the Eagles did?
One?
Four. They're still $40 million over the cap.
I was going to say Pittsburgh, New Orleans, both had to be on that list?
No. You're not understanding what I'm asking. Carrying over cap means you didn't use it.
Oh, okay.
The Eagles had one of the lowest working cap figures in the NFL last year. Problem is, they kicked the can down the road, and now you have all these deals that are just a bag of penises.
Got you. All these backloaded deals that are now coming to fruition.
Yeah. So now you can fix that, fix the cap sheet.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, all of this could be tied to Howie Roseman. I said this on draft night when they took Jalen Hurts. That was a stupid decision. Period. Because fans, and I don't mean our lovely fans, our fans are very smart and wonderful. The average fan ain't real bright. And they see Jalen Hurts and, he was a national title quarterback in Alabama and Oklahoma. So was Tim Tebow. And here's what nobody wants to say. Jalen Hurts is younger Tim Tebow. That's all he is. You can make him more than do whatever you want to. You're going to see it. He's not good. The NFL, it took 2 games for them to have tape on Jalen Hurts and go, this is not real hard to stop. One of the worst defenses I've ever seen made him look awful. So now this gives Philadelphia a year to go, here, fans, you can have what you want. Jalen Hurts sucks. And a year from now, you can move on and just move that, put it in a little box, put it in the ocean, and let it float away.
The Philly fan getting exactly what they deserve. I hate Philadelphia Eagles fans so much, other than Josh and Aaron. Josh and Aaron Michael, they're good friends, dig them. But every other Philadelphia Eagles fan can eat shit in the street like they did after the Super Bowl.
Indeed. Adam Black has a really good point, and it's something I've been saying on the show for a long time. Who are they bidding against?
Who were the Colts bidding against?
Who were the Colts bidding against? Who else would have been interested in Carson Wentz?
The Bears, apparently.
They never were. Did they call? Yes. Do you know what they offered? A 3 and Nick Foles. And Philadelphia went, well, you can fuck right off.
As well they should have.
Huh? Because this is what drives me crazy about rumors in the NFL. Oh, Nick Foles, they'd love to have him back in Philadelphia. Who would? Nick Sirianni, who's putting in a new offense that Nick Foles has absolutely nothing to do with. Oh, they have a statue of Nick in Philadelphia. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. He's a below-average quarterback in the NFL that had 1 good year. And guess who that year was with? Frank Reich, who just brought in Carson Wentz.
Right.
To me, this is a rare win-win on both sides of the spectrum in the NFL. Most trades do not go this way in the NFL. Usually you look at one team and go, you got screwed. I don't look at it that way. I don't think the Eagles got screwed.
I don't think they got screwed. I just think Indianapolis got the better of the deal by far. Because
but you don't know that.
I mean, I guess
Carson Wentz could be the same player he was last year. He could be irrevocably broken.
It could very well be.
That is in the spectrum of possibilities. If you had to put a percentage on it, chances Carson Wentz is the player we saw last year, what would you say it is?
15%.
It is markedly higher than that.
Yeah.
It is markedly higher than that. I would say it's a 1 in 3 shot. And remember, I'm a guy that loves Carson Wentz. I said 2 years ago I wouldn't build a team around any other quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
Now, that was before Mahomes took off and Josh Allen, and he was the best young quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, he has huge mechanical issues. And those don't always get corrected.
Right. And he has, as good as his passing stats may have been at one point in his career, he still has real problems holding on to the football. This is a guy that's fumbled the ball.
That's when you get sacked 50 times. That's I would wager there's not many quarterbacks that get sacked 50 times.
But it's not just this past year. But it's not just this past year.
But it was markedly. It was made way worse this year.
He's had double-digit fumbles 3 out of his 5 years in the NFL.
And that's not a rare thing for quarterbacks.
And he had 9 in both of the other seasons where he didn't hit double digits. I think it went 16, 9, 9, 12, and then this year was 14. Mm-hmm.
This is the reason we measure quarterbacks' hands at the combine. Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Right.
It doesn't surprise me. I think that's a thing that's kind of cyclical. Mm-hmm. It's directly tied to how many times you're hit. That's another part of this that you're not going to hear anybody talk about. Carson Wentz was sacked 50 times. First of all, he played in 12 games. Let me say that again. He was sacked 50 times in 12 fucking games.
Right.
He was hit over 100 times. Do you know how long it took Tom Brady to hit those when I went back and looked? It was 2018. You had to add every one of those seasons together to get the same level of quarterback pressure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was week 4 or week 5 of 2018. That's a lot.
To equal the pressure that Carson Wentz had last year.
In 12 games.
Right.
If he had played all 16, he might have broken records of the most times being hit by a quarterback in NFL history. Mm-hmm. That's how bad this team was.
Mm-hmm. And now the question for me is, what does the Philadelphia Eagles do? There's a lot of chatter about them trying to draft a quarterback at 6. Do you think that's what they're going to do?
They're not going to. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. I'll give you a very simple reason why. You're wasting a year of a rookie. Plus, this is not let's be really honest. This is not a great quarterback class. Mm-hmm. Trevor Lawrence is generational. Beyond that, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Now, could they fall in love with somebody like Justin Fields? Sure. Do I think they're going to? Nope. No, I don't. And they may not even have their shot to fall in love with somebody like that. Because they might all be gone by the time they show up at 6. Mm-hmm.
I mean, some predictions have had 4. What was it? Todd
McShay had 4 in a row.
4 in a row. 4 of the first 4 picks.
That's not going to happen. I've already said that on the show pretty aggressively.
Oh, yeah.
But still, you may not have your at the end of the day, you're not going to have your choice of quarterback.
They're going to be left with Trey Lance. Trey Lance will be...
Trey Lance is the one I like best in Philadelphia.
To me, he's got the best shot of falling to 6.
He will fall to 6. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. I don't think he's going to fall in the top 10. Mm-hmm. But, he'll be there at 6. If they fall in love with Trey Lance, could they do that? Sure. Do I think they're going to? Nope. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. Because you're wasting a year.
How can you... I think about the Philadelphia fans, though, and I said, they deserve what they get for being just complete jerks, basically. But, how can you have any faith in this front office to put something together?
Because they won a Super Bowl 4 years ago. That's how I can have faith in it. Mm-hmm. They won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you think that was that's easy to reclaim?
There are only so many front offices that can win a Super Bowl. The Eagles have one. Period. Okay. There's no debating that. There's only so many GMs, so many front office combinations. Now, they have lost smart guys. Guys like Joe Douglas, who's the GM of the Jets. He was in Philadelphia when they won the Super Bowl. So I could understand why you would have a little bit of polish for cause there. Mm-hmm. However, Justin Parton asked me on YouTube, should they take a quarterback this year or wait? I'm going to say wait, and the reason's very simple. You start the rookie clock the minute that you draft a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You have 4 years before you have to make a decision on an option that if you take a quarterback in the top 10 is going to be over $20 million. By the time you do that, your team better be good. It is way easier to keep guys that you already have than it is to accumulate more talent once you start pressing up against the cap. Mm-hmm. Kansas City, the whole reason that they will be contenders is because they have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Edwards-Helaire. If he becomes anything, I think they're going to retain Sammy Watkins. The weapons will be good. But here's what you have to think about. What you see of a quarterback on the rookie deal is the best you're ever going to see of them, in large part. Vast majority. I told this stat on the ESPN show yesterday. From 2009 to 2016, 22 quarterbacks were taken in the first round. Yeah, do you know how many are still on the team that drafted them?
0.
It's 0. Not 1. And it just confirms my theory of we are to a spot in the NFL that you're better with a young quarterback that is cheap than you are with a non-elite, highly paid quarterback. And by non-elite, I mean not top 4 or 5 in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I said yesterday there were maybe 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that I would pay, period. Mm-hmm. And it was the Russells, the Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. That's it. There are no more. Lamar Jackson, pissed down the road. Baker Mayfield, same thing. I'll draft another guy. Here's what nobody wants to talk about. It's a lot easier to play quarterback in the NFL right now than it was 20 years ago. Because you get every flag. Mm-hmm. You're protected in the pocket. Everything. Mm-hmm. Everything is in the quarterback's favor. Which is why we have so many good young quarterbacks.
I'm very worried about the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward. I don't see much of a positive coming out of this for them, other than the fact that they were able to save the money on a quarterback that obviously was done, or that they were done with. Not saying Carson Wentz is done, because, as I said, I don't see a problem for this for the Indianapolis Colts. To me, they gave up a little to get a guy who could possibly win them a Super Bowl. Because to me, this makes them instant contenders. And I don't have any concerns about the Indianapolis Colts in that front office putting weapons around him. He's already got good young weapons to work with. Now they just have to fill some slot. And guess what? They've got, what is it, the 3rd most money? 4th most money? Out of anybody in the NFL?
This hurt, but they still have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I think they're at 5 now.
Okay. There you go. They got more money than just about every other team in the league to work with, even after the Carson Wentz trade has come to fruition. So, T.Y. Hilton, that's not a thing anymore. He's gone. They're not going to re-sign him. They might get him for $1 million.
You're drunk as fuck. Good God, this Super Bowl accumulation has turned your salary cap knowledge into tapioca pudding. If you think T.Y. Hilton is going for less than $8 million, you're drunk.
And any team that does it is instantly going to wish they had.
You're wrong. But
okay.
The tape says you're horribly wrong.
Okay.
Just flat out. Okay, he's not been the guy that he was. He's a 30-year-old receiver. Mm-hmm. That's how this happens. He's a 30-year-old receiver that was primarily a speed receiver. He can still catch.
Okay. Hit a lot of drops this year.
A lot of receivers have a lot of drops. Mm-hmm. You know what a lot of drops means? A lot of targets. Mm-hmm. It means the quarterback at the end of the day trusted you. Mm-hmm. Nelson Aguilar, yeah, he's got shitty hands. You know what? He was a douchebag, and Derek Carr still trusted him. You know
but he was much better this year than T.Y.
Who? Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah.
Not really. He was wildly inconsistent. He had very good games. He was not consistent at all.
T.Y. Hilton to the Packers, I heard.
That would make a lot of sense. Too much sense. I always see, to me, the Green Bay Packers, what they've been missing for years is somebody like Randall Cobb. Mm-hmm. They can be pre-snap multiple, can do a lot of things. T.Y. out there makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Patrick Holt asked me in the comments on Facebook, I once said that once Carson Wentz gets traded, the ball starts rolling on quarterbacks.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not backing off that. Because you know what this just did? Set the market. I'm going to tell you something right now, and I believe it with every fiber of my soul.
Okay.
If Sam Darnold's not a Jet next year, he gets more than Carson Wentz got.
Agreed.
The Jets will get more for Sam Darnold than the Eagles did for Carson Wentz. Here's why. With Sam Darnold, how old is Sam Darnold?
25.
All right, Tank said 25. Ron, you got a guess?
24?
He's 23 years old right now. He's 5 months older than Joe Burrow.
5 months?
Mm-hmm. He's less than a year older than Zach Wilson, who's never thrown a pass in the NFL. There are still a lot of teams that believe Sam Darnold can be a franchise quarterback. I'm one of them, by the way. I think he can be a franchise quarterback in New York. One problem. You're getting ready to have to pay him. But now the beauty of Sam is that you can structure the deal. You have 2 years, one more on the rookie deal, and then the team option. And you can structure the deal however you want it. If you want to put incentives in it, you're not beholden to what another team thought of Sam Darnold. And I think that's going to fetch a lot. I will go out on a limb and say the Jets are going to get a 1 in this year's draft and a conditional 3 that could escalate to a second 1 for Sam Darnold. Because they're not going to let him go for nothing. Just let that be known. If the offers are a conditional 2 and a 3 this year, they'll go, okay, we're going to keep him. Because nobody with an IQ above salad dressing feels definitively better about Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or Trey Lance than they do Sam Darnold.
Agreed.
Nobody. Not one scout I've talked to. Probably 10 teams in the NFL. Not one has said I feel better about another quarterback in this draft than I do Darnold.
To me, the starting negotiation is a 1.
I love what Patrick Holt just said. If Darnold winds up in Washington, that team could be a Super Bowl contender instantaneously. I agree with you. That defense is that good. Antonio Gibson is that good. Terry McLaurin is good. Logan Thomas is good. This is a guy that there is more than one team that sees him as their path to a title. Washington's one of them. Carolina's another. I won't be shocked. And I'm not claiming this is what's going to happen. I will not be shocked if Sam Darnold's the next quarterback moves. It won't shock me in the least. If he's not, I almost don't think he won't. I almost believe he won't be.
I don't know that I just can't see that happening before the Deshaun thing happens.
You're wrong. You're 150% wrong.
Why would the Jets move Sam Darnold not knowing if they're going to be in on Deshaun
Sam Darnold
Watson?
could be involved in the Deshaun deal.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson will be the last quarterback moved via trade. And I'll be honest with you. You know what? I am going to go out on this limb. Next quarterback to be traded is Kirkland Cousins. And he's going to the Denver Broncos. I've been hearing this for a long time, and I think the Carson Wentz thing accelerated it. I won't be shocked if he's a Bronco by the time we're talking on Monday.
He gets a 1, right?
No. He'll get Drew Lock and a conditional pick. And Minnesota should be thrilled with that. Drew Lock's still very young, still on a very infantile rookie deal. And you get 2 years basically to figure out what you got in him. Because he was a second-round pick, so he doesn't have an option here.
Right.
Yeah, to me it is a no freaking brainer. And George Patton trusts him in terms of Cousins. And Minnesota, let's be real honest, they're not that good. They're not. They have pieces. You feel great about Kirk Cousins?
No.
That's a deal, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I've ever said this. That's a deal where I think both teams win. Because Minnesota's team needs a shot in the ass, and they're getting ready to lose a lot of players. They got to make a decision on Harrison Smith. Kyle Rudolph has already been bitching. You're going to see a lot of guys. You're going to see a lot of guys from that team move. And having Drew Lock out there with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook and Irv Smith, I don't hate that at all. I don't hate it. And it takes away a big cap number and lets you rebuild this team with young players, which you need to do.
Right. You got to rebuild that defense after it was gutted last offseason.
I've been hearing the Cousins thing, and it's getting louder. Allegedly, and I am going to tell you exactly what Michael Lombardi said on Pat McAfee's show. Allegedly, this time last week, Denver was this close to pulling off a blockbuster deal for a quarterback that was not Carson Wentz. Who else could it have been? Read the tea leaves. It's not Deshaun Watson. It's not. What do they have that would interest Houston?
Right.
Were you going to give them 5 ones? You do realize how old that team is, right? No, you're not going to do that. It was real easy for me to draw from point A to point B.
Couldn't have
Kirk
been.
Cousins. I've heard it for weeks, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. I would actually. I think I'm with you on that. I would actually like that deal for both teams.
I would love that deal.
Gives Minnesota more flexibility, and Denver they have a shot to make that offense something. The only question for me, if I'm Denver, is thinking, how much longer do I have with Kirk Cousins? I got 2 years left on that deal.
Yeah.
2 years left on that deal, and then we got to draft another one.
The only thing that makes
Because you're not going to re-sign him, I wouldn't think.
Depends.
Because with another contract, I mean, I would imagine that he'd probably want $30 million again.
I doubt it. He'd be 35 by then. Mm-hmm. Or 30-something. He's 33 right now, I think. Somebody check me on that. Tell me how old Kirk Cousins is.
Okay. It's 32.
32. He'll be 33 by the time the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean,
he'll be 35 by the time.
I think that's the next quarterback move because I do not see him being the starting quarterback in Minnesota. Almost said the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
The Minnesota Vikings next year.
All right. I dig that. Who else is on your radio? Do you have another one? Do you have another spicy hot take of another guy who's going to move? I'm just asking.
Christ, what do you think? They just fall out of my ass?
Hell, apparently we're going to have every fucking quarterback move. So,
by the way, Adam Schefter's 18. I'm officially on the over.
Okay.
I am officially on the over. We've already had one quarterback. To be honest with you, we've had two quarterbacks move that I didn't really think were going to get moved.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Stafford would. The other two kind of surprised me.
All of these deals do escalate the timeline for everybody else, I believe. And we'll just have to see who the next domino is to fall. But you say it's going to be Darnold in some form or fashion.
No, I said it's going to be Kirk Cousins.
Oh, Cousins.
I'm not positive Darnold's not starting quarterback of the Jets next year. Mm-hmm. I can't get a good beat on that, which is weird because I'm more connected to the Jets than I am any team in the NFL. I'm getting better information from Denver and Washington than I'm getting from the Jets, and that is weird to me.
Right.
Which means they either don't know or they do really know and they don't want anybody else to know. And I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
I have a connection with the Jets that literally talks to Joe Douglas every freaking day. If I say something about the Jets, you should probably heed it because I kind of know what I'm talking about. But this is one time I don't know.
Right.
I've heard Sam could be traded in a week. I've heard Sam could be the starter week one. So I don't know. I know teams have called. That's what I can tell you definitively. Mm-hmm. I know Washington's called. I know the Jets have called, or the Panthers have called, and I know the Colts called as leverage on Carson Wentz. That's all I got.
Excellent.
I'd love to go spicy on something else, but I don't have one.
No.
Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be cut by the 49ers.
Cut?
Nobody's taking that deal as it sits.
What's that going to cost him?
Zero.
Oh, he has no
He was
guarantee
traded.
left? Oh, okay.
Well, he was traded and then signed, but it was a front-loaded deal.
Right.
Let me verify that. I think if they cut him, it's nothing.
Okay.
If it's anything, it's very, very low.
What does he fetch on the open market? 25?
No. It depends on the team. I don't see how it's anybody but New England, honestly. 2.8 if he's cut pre-June 1. If he's cut post-June 1, it's 1.4. And they save $25 million. Mm-hmm. I see no way he is with San Francisco going into next year.
That's a no-brainer of a deal, but you don't think he's going to get 25 from anybody? Because I think that's about the going rate for a solid starting quarterback, right? I mean, that's the floor of the rate.
No. Because I don't view Jimmy Garoppolo the way a lot of people do. I view Jimmy Garoppolo as a bottom 12 in the NFL starting quarterback. I mean, but I've never been wild about him. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Bill Belichick is.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that's all that really matters. Over in the NBA, we got the All-Stars. The fan vote has come in. And is anybody shocked that LeBron James and Kevin Durant are your captains of the All-Star team?
Not surprised at all.
Nobody is surprised at all. The starters for the West, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, and Luka Doncic. Apparently there are a lot of hurt feelings going on that Dame Lillard did not end up being a starter. He actually ended up tied with Luka Doncic But because the fan vote outweighs all of the other votes, because it's fan votes counts for 50%, it's the players 25, and then the coaches, or the media. Media is 25. Luka finished in second place in the front court for the fan vote, and so that swung him.
And
over
he won the
Dame
media.
as a
He
starter.
won the media vote. And he won the coaches' vote. Walking away.
Mm-hmm.
Dame did.
Yep.
Dame won it in a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Luka got in because the fans voted him in, and that pisses me off.
Why?
The tiebreaker should not be the fans. If you're going to give them 50% of the vote, that's fine. They can have half of it. If it's a tie, which this was, and the tie, the point of the tie is that the coaches and the media vote is 50%, fans is 50%. This got really confusing to some people on social media last night.
Right.
Oh, all these people voted for. Yeah, it's percentage. It's not actual people.
Right.
There's not 2.4 million coaches. They're dumb. I had to explain that way more times last night than I really wanted to. But if it comes down to that, it should come down to the coaches. Being an all-star starter is a huge deal. And I'm going to level. It should have been Dame. And I like Luka better as a player. You know I am not a Dame Lillard guy at all. He deserved it this year.
I will agree that Dame deserved to be a starter this year. However, I'm going to disagree with you that the coaches' vote should count more. Because the All-Star game
is
for the fans. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's
that's
for
how,
the fans.
Yeah, and what you just said is how people like Vince Carter almost get put in the game at fucking 40.
It's very true, but that's how we've had this thing set up for years.
Well, that's just how we've always done it. Thank you, baseball guy.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember how your sport became fucking irrelevant? Because that's how we've always done it.
The All-Star,
We can't put spiderwebs on the bases. Why would we ever do that?
The All-Star game is for the fans. You give the fans what they want. If the fans want Luka Doncic to be a starter in the All-Star game, you make Luka Doncic the starter in the All-Star game. It's very simple to me. It's an exhibition game. It doesn't. I mean, what does it really matter that Dame's not a starter?
What does it matter?
Right.
The NBA is very much it's an achievement league. And being a starter in the All-Star game is a big deal. Do I think it should be? No. But it is. And I'm not saying Luka's not deserving. It just bothers me that literally all 30 coaches voted Dame Lillard. And that's bothersome to me. Now, Luka got, what was it, 14? I think 14 of the coaches voted Luka in. But the fan vote. Oh, we got to do everything for the fans. That's why we're doing the dunk contest at halftime, which is dumb. Stupid. All-Star things piss me off so bad.
I love that you just get so amped up over this.
Because they drive me nuts.
What does it matter? What does it matter? They're all going to play. It's not like Dame's not going to see the floor because Luka's the starter.
No.
It depends on who's out there for the first 5 minutes.
No, but I don't want the fans deciding this shit. As I said, this is how middling players. Yao Ming was on the All-Star team like 9 times. This is how. He was not that good. There's another one. There's somebody else I'm forgetting that made All-Star games like every year on the fan vote. It'll come to me. They were way past their prime. Half-assed NBA player at best, and they're still starting in the All-Star game.
Right.
Russell Westbrook. Couldn't resist the urge.
The guy who averaged a triple-double. Yeah, nice. Yeah. He's
How
obviously...
many games does his team win?
Lawyered.
Lawyered. Most overrated player since Allen Iverson. And lawyered again.
It's for the... It's
Spicy.
The All-Star game is for the fans. I think the fan vote should count the most. This is what the people want to see. It's a made-for-TV event.
So they do for the Pro Bowl, and it's a normal.
Yeah, it's the same. Exactly. Only this one we actually, people actually get to watch the game. Because the Pro Bowl is... Nobody watches that. I mean, you can watch it. Nobody does. I can't remember the last time I watched a Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl? Never.
No, now don't lie. You said
Oh, I mean, I'll watch a few
year
plays.
You'll throw in. You'll go.
I'll
in
watch a
and
few plays and then watch 2-hand tackles and go, nope.
No.
Forgot about that. No.
Every year, watch it and expect something different. There's a term for that. I think it's called insanity. Repeating the same actions over and over, expecting a different result. The All-Star game last year was
Fantastic.
great. It delivered on everything we wanted. Every quarter mattered. Everybody seemed to play. It wasn't like great. It never is great defense or anything, but it seemed like the intensity lasted throughout the entire contest. I like the way they've restructured it, and they're going to do it the same way again this year. And I like that. They're going to go with the Elam ending as well.
You're all about that because we've talked to the guy.
Much. I love the Elam ending.
You only love that ending because we've talked to the guy.
It's not true. I was completely against the Elam ending until we interviewed Dr. Elam, and he convinced me. Like, this is... And even after the interview, I rejected it for a long time until I saw it actually in action. And I like it. I like setting the target score, shutting the clock off, and let's have real basketball to the end. You got no more of these, foul fests at the end of the game, putting guys on the line, hoping the hack-a-shack, or what was Howard's, hack-a-Howard, hoping that those, strategies come into play. I hate that shit.
It's an all-star game. I like the ending last year. I like the homage to Kobe. Cody Palmer said something in the comments he said it better than I could. Here's the thing: fans are voting for who they like. Coaches and players and media are deciding who should start based off that vote. That's how it should be decided. I couldn't have said it any better myself. It's exactly what I mean. If it's a tie, it should go to the media or the coaches, because the fans are just voting for whoever their favorite player is.
Mm-hmm.
Tie should go to the more deserving, and Dame Lillard was more deserving, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mainly because Luka is, 12th in the West right now?
Yeah.
That team is
something like that.
horror awful at times.
Imagine how worse they'd be without him, though.
Oh, without Luka? Oh,
Right.
it'd be a fucking disaster. It would be a train wreck of a disaster of a dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm. Your Eastern Conference starters: Kevin Durant, Giannis, Embiid, Beal, and Irving.
The fact Kyrie Irving is starting makes me want to run my head through the wall. Kyrie Irving is not a fucking all-star. Period. He's not. He's not. He's not. No. Reserve, could care less. He's not a starter.
Who would you have started over him?
Over Kyrie?
Yeah. Who would be the starting point guard?
Well, starting guard, because we do front court and back court.
Excuse me, starting guard of this team.
Who
it
would I have
been
started
James
over
Harden?
Who would I have started over him? Fred VanVleet's more deserving. Spicy. By all advanced metrics, he's a top 8 player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not a reserve, I'm going to mutiny.
I don't think there's any way he doesn't make this team.
Oh, there's a way. Oh, have no fear. There is a way. I know there's at least one person from Toronto in the comments. You tell him.
What?
This has been, other than Vince Carter, this has been constant. Deserving Raptors don't make it.
Oh, the Raptors don't get in? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Other than that, I don't know.
Zach LaVine. He's been having a
Zach
better year.
LaVine, yeah, his team sucks too. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just don't want him to be Kyrie Irving.
But does it have to be a guy from a great team?
No.
I mean, because, like...
No, it doesn't have to be a great player. Ron said Ben Simmons. My problem with Ben Simmons is that Joel Embiid is the catalyst of all of this. Mm-hmm. I feel like Simmons is getting love gravy on his taters just solely because of what Joel Embiid's done.
Right.
I need to never use the phrase love gravy ever again.
Is John Morant in that discussion?
He's in the West.
That's dirty.
And he missed a ton of games. I don't have a good solution for who it would have been.
Yeah.
Just you hate Kyrie Irving.
I hate Kyrie Irving. And literally you looked at your team and went, I don't feel like playing, so I'm not going to.
So I need to take 10 minutes
Woo!
off. Right.
Woo! Fuck you. On a scale of 1 to 10, fuck you.
Come on, man. You can't bash him for that. Mental health is a real thing, and he needed a mental health week.
Shut up, Lebron. Jesus. Good Lord. God, there are days that you're blue.
It's not his fault.
Participation trophy
Friday.
Spencer over here. Why am I not shocked that that's your take on that? You looked at your team and went, I don't feel like playing, so I'm not gonna. You can't beat me.
So that should disqualify you from the All-Star game.
It would have for me.
Even though
I
you're
got news
putting
for
up-
you.
even though you're
if
putting up
I
the
ever
best
get a
stats of
media
your
vote,
career.
if I ever get a media vote and I don't want to play for what you can rest assured, you are not getting my vote.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. I don't give a fuck what your reason is. Well, to within reason. And if you don't ever give me a reason, you can rest assured I'm not going to vote for you.
There were some people that had their feelings hurt that James Harden wasn't one of the starters for the Eastern
Well, he got
Conference.
screwed in that he was being voted on in the West, and then those votes don't carry over when you get traded.
I wouldn't have voted for him either way because
Holy
of how
shit,
he did in Houston.
Somebody Tank wouldn't put in an All-Star game? This is a first.
Just because of how the Houston thing went down.
So now hold on. Now hold the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me the fact that he mailed it in Houston would keep you from voting for him.
Yes.
But you have no aversion to voting for Kyrie, who just sat at home for 2 weeks.
I did not say
and
that.
partied with Drake.
I did not say that. I was just giving you shit because you're you can't take a mental health break.
A mental health break.
That's apparently what it was. I mean, the guy was walking around the fucking court like burning sage and shit, trying to get the demons away.
That's because he's a crazy
There's
person.
a fucking guy who needs a mental health break.
I'm not saying he doesn't. That's another term that just pisses me off to know. I took a mental health day.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you sat at home and housed beer, started at 10 o'clock in the morning? It's a mental health.
Yep. Cheers. Anything to clear your head. And I think Kyrie Irving's head is one of the...
Oh, it's cloudy.
Oh, God.
Your generation just pisses me off.
My generation? You're
Yours
younger than
and-
I am.
yours
What the
and
hell
Ron.
are you talking about?
Yours and Ron's. Ron is younger than me, Tank is older than me, and I put their generation together, and I don't consider myself part of it. Because I don't believe I'm from this generation. I think I might be an alien.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear people my age talk and just go, shut up! Will you stop talking?
Nice. The three other of the top 5 backcourt vote getters were James Harden, Zach LaVine, and Jalen Brown.
I wouldn't have put in Jalen Brown, but I would have probably put in Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine would have been your one to put in over Kyrie Irving.
I'll be honest with you, I'd put in Ron over Kyrie Irving.
I mean, Bradley Beal's on a really horrible team, but you cannot
You couldn't
deny.
not have Bradley Beal in.
Right, you can't deny. I mean, the guy's scoring 33 points a game.
Yeah, he, on a god-awful team.
Mm-hmm. And he's doing it all himself.
Oh, Alexander. Kyrie is literally the definition of a turkey player who was only good on a dinner plate Gordon Ramsay made. And he put LeBron in quotation marks. I like it.
That is a way to put it.
I hate Kyrie Irving with the fire of 1,000 suns. I've never hated an NBA player as much as I hate Kyrie Irving. Ever. In all of my life. I didn't hate Reggie Miller this bad.
Just because of the
And I
sheer
grew up a
stupidity.
Knicks fan.
Just because of the sheer stupidity? Is
Just
that what you're
because
saying?
he's everything I hate about this generation. I need a mental health day to make sure that my chi is right. I'm gonna light some sage, talk to my therapist, talk to my tarot card reader, and I'll get back to you.
And it can't do shit.
Piss off.
By the way, you're all wrong. The earth is flat.
Oh, I mean, that's all you really need to know. The motherfucker thinks the earth is flat. I mean, and scene.
And to say, we just have to take time. That's the thing I still can't get over, that he hasn't taken shots for, saying that there's more important things going on in the world right now when he left the team and then was out partying with Drake and going to birthday parties and shit. Like, okay, these are the most important things in the world. Got you. I mean, I'm all about family. I'm a family guy. But I feel like that was a bit of a problem. Just me.
And you know what shocks me the least of this is that he's friends with Drake. Because I've never hated a celebrity whose last name's not Kardashian as much as I hate Drake.
And does that have anything to do with anything he's ever said or done? Is you're just tired of seeing his face?
No, I just hate his stupid face. I hate his stupid face. I hate his stupid music. I hate the fact he sounds exactly like Lil Wayne. And I hate the fact that people love him. It drives me crazy. It started from the bottom. Now you started as a guy in a wheelchair on Degrassi.
Now he's here.
Yeah. You started as a guy in a wheelchair on Degrassi. Okay, hashtag never forget. All right, don't act hard, motherfucker. You are Drake is as hard as a marshmallow pea. I have seen Easter candy that is harder than Drake. So just calm your shit.
It's from the mean streets of Toronto. What are you talking about? So we know how hard it gets up there. Jeez.
I'm not going down this route. There's a stand up bit in this that I'm gonna push away from. You do know we have viewers in Canada, by the way.
Yes.
Some real good ones.
Yes, I do know.
Like some of my favorite ones.
And I keep waiting for them to try to convince me I'm wrong, but it hasn't happened yet.
They've convinced me on hockey. So you're a Democrat, so you're like talking to that wall anyway. They're not going to convince you of shit, and they're probably not going to try. I wouldn't try.
Man, I wish you could have been on a fly on the wall of the conversation that I had with the actual Democrats in my family last night.
Last night? Oh, it got more aggressive?
Oh, it got more aggressive last night. It was quite entertaining.
Patrick Holt is always good for one real good comment. At least one real good comment every show.
The only thing hard in Canada is what type of poutine you want or whether or not you use maple syrup during sex.
The old King Clancy.
The what?
The old King Clancy. CanadianSexActs.org. It's non-profit. They just want to get the information out there. If you've never watched How I Met Your Mother, you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
I've literally woken up every day this week with a different song from How I Met Your Mother stuck in my head. It's the greatest sitcom of the last 20 years. Fight me. I don't care. You won't convince me otherwise.
The Crew. The Crew's the greatest sitcom ever.
Of course you'd say that. The latest thing is the greatest.
It's the greatest thing always.
Latest and greatest rhyme for a reason.
Facts. I will recommend to everybody on Netflix. I enjoyed The Crew, the new Kevin James sitcom that's on Netflix about him being the crew chief of a NASCAR team based in Charlotte. It's got a lot of Charlotte area, North Carolina centric references in it. Ron said one of his favorite parts was when Kevin James' character showed up wearing a Kannapolis Cannonballers t-shirt. I have to admit, I was, I got a little warm feeling about that as well. But it's a really funny show. And I like Kevin James, and it's Kevin James, to me, reclaiming his sitcom glory from King of Queens.
Kevin James is a Jets fan, which means he is the greatest. Patrick Holt said Seinfeld's the best sitcom ever made.
Yes.
You're right, but that was more than 20 years ago. It ended in 99. I was very careful with Seinfeld.
I think The Crew is the best sitcom I've seen since Last Man Standing. That's also one of my favorites. But I think everybody would enjoy it. And the campiness of it as well. Like, they have cameos in there from actual NASCAR drivers. And they always refer to them as their full name.
And it's so hokey.
And it's hilarious. Like, there's one scene where Ryan Blaney and Austin Dillon are sitting in this bar. And
by the way, that's the most believable part of this whole show.
Yeah. they say something to the crew that's sitting at another table, and it's, "Shut up, Ryan Blaney. I hate you, Ryan Blaney." Oh,
so hokey.
Yeah, you too, Austin Dillon.
It's so hokey.
There's another one where Ryan Blaney walks up with Cole Custer, and he walks by the table and goes, "Oh, hey, Ryan Blaney."
By the
He
way,
goes, "Hey, this is my friend Cole Custer."
By the way, who is not enjoying Tank's review of some shitty Netflix series?
It's not shitty. It's good.
Roger Ebert over here breaking down Netflix shows for you.
Mm-hmm.
We are not sponsored.
Yeah. This is like the guy that tells you about his fantasy football team like you give a shit. On my fantasy team, I have Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon and Miles Sanders. And nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm. I told you to watch it, and
I did, and I got 2 episodes through it and went.
And you gave up?
I fell asleep. It was the only thing that could put me to sleep last night.
Oh, nice.
I mean, on the bright side, you did give me you gave me a walking, talking Ambien, which was nice.
No,
That was awful kind
you're
of you.
wrong. It's a good show. I like it.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's hokey as hell. And I love Kevin James because he's a Jets fan.
Mm-hmm. LeBron James and company lost last night to the Brooklyn Nets.
It's the one game I lost. By the way, if you want to know Stone Cold winners, listen to me on Thursdays and Fridays. If you want to know Stone Cold winners, do the exact opposite of me on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. This is 3 weeks in a row now that I have been over 800% on Thursday and Friday and been below 250 on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Mm-hmm. It's the most unbelievable string I've ever seen.
LeBron hit 35,000 points last night, so just another feather in his cap. He is now the third all-time to hit the 35,000 mark with Karl Malone and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I take nothing away from what happened last night because there was no Anthony Davis. Dennis Schroeder didn't play last night for the Lakers.
Schroeder.
Does it matter?
Mm-hmm. One's right and one is wrong. His name is Dennis Schroeder.
Schroeder.
He's German.
Does he have those little umlauts?
He did. He actually did it one time. Now they've stopped doing it. I don't know why. When he got drafted, they had those. Because he really wanted you to know his name was Schroeder.
Schroeder. All right. Dennis Schroeder did not play last night. And the Nets just continued to shoot three-pointers at an incredible clip.
They do
I
that.
think in the last 3 games, they've hit, 65 three-pointers in the last 3 games? They're one of only like 3 teams of all time to have a 3-game stretch like that. Obviously, shooting like this will not continue, but it's still one of the best things that they have, which I think makes them dangerous, but I don't know that it makes them a contender.
They can't win a title this way. Can't. You can't just shoot out with everybody you play. The Phoenix Suns proved this many years ago, and the NBA ain't changed that much. Mm-hmm. Because they can't stop a nosebleed. The one thing that I underestimated, not having Anthony Davis, was a killer last night for the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Not having that big guy that can stretch the floor. Montrezl Harrell's great. He doesn't stretch the floor at all.
Mm-hmm. He's just not quick enough.
Yes.
Anthony Davis.
And he can't shoot.
Yeah, Anthony Davis is going to be done for 4 weeks. They're going to hold him out. He's got the Achilles tendinosis that he's dealing with. And I don't see any reason to bring him back before you're absolutely certain that he won't re-injure himself. It'll probably be the storyline over the next month that, the Lakers are really missing Anthony Davis. I don't care. Because what's the worst that's going to happen for the Lakers in the next month without Anthony Davis? They
nothing.
Lose 3 games?
Yeah, nothing. They're the best. They're the best team in the West, and it's not really even debatable to me. Mm-hmm. The Jazz are the only team worth talking about, and that's taken Mike Conley playing out of his mind. That's another one. If he doesn't make it as a reserve, I'm going to mutiny this All-Star game. If Mike Conley's not an All-Star, we shouldn't even have an All-Star game. Because the reserves are picked by the coaches. Mm-hmm. You'll have 8 guys on the bench. If Mike Conley's not one of them, you did it wrong.
I don't think we're going to have a problem with that because his coach is coaching.
But his coach has no say over who's on the bench. That's done by all the coaches.
Oh, I thought the coaches of the team got to choose the reserves.
All the coaches of the conference.
15
15 coaches vote. Highest vote getters win.
Okay. Do you think there's a chance that he doesn't
They
make it?
got really awkward that you just stared at me like.
I thought there was more. I thought there was more coming.
Is there a chance he doesn't make it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he plays in Utah. It's the Denver, Toronto. I mean, there's several markets like this problem. Fred VanVleet, he has the same problem.
Do they have to have one from every team? Is that a rule?
They don't have enough spots on the roster for that, for one. And I would love to know who some team's representative would be. I do think Gordon Hayward's going to make it, though, since we're here in the Charlotte Hornets market.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of that, our merch store will be open at some point today.
Oh, wonderful.
We do have Charlotte Hornet colored Sportsocracy swag along with Carolina Panthers.
Are you allowed to say that?
Colored. It is the colors of those teams. There is no logo. There is no any of that. It is subjective branding.
In the style of local teams.
Yes, that. Yeah, you know what I'm allowed to say.
Right.
I'll just keep doing it. You tell me how I'm supposed to. Also, if you want hats, I have posted the link. I will post the link on the Sportsocracy site today. Pre-orders are open. They'll be here in about 2 weeks. If you do shipping, they will be sent that day. Usually takes about 2 days. So, and 30% of that is going to Asheville. The Asheville bar and restaurant business will be buying gift cards that we'll give away for contests on this show and the ESPN Radio show.
Yep.
We have a lot of things working between this show and the ESPN Radio show that we are super looking forward to telling you. We just need people to definitively agree. No carts before horses. But there's some things that I really want to tell you, like right now. But I can't.
But we can't. There's things in development. Saw this report that the Lakers are reportedly interested in trying to figure out a way to bring Mo Bamba in.
And I don't
From the
understand why
Orlando
you give
Magic.
a rat's ass about this, because Mo Bamba has been a horrendous NBA player. He literally can do nothing offensively. He doesn't get minutes for the Magic, and you think he'll get minutes for the Lakers.
And that's my question is why would they, for all of the hoops that they would have to jump through to make this work, because their money doesn't work for one. And I don't think they're giving up anybody that would match his salary.
This would be a buyout thing, and I don't think they're that over him. I just think they're not thrilled with how it's gone. I'll put it at that. So Orlando could move on. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
This is another one of those rumors that some bored little shit with a Photoshop went, hey, look, it's Mo Bamba in a Lakers jersey. Discuss.
They could really use the size, especially if they're going to be without Anthony Davis.
For what, a month? Who cares? Yeah. What do you need him for a game against the Pistons?
Right.
It makes no sense to me, but
I just think it's funny because like I said, the hoops that they would have to jump through to make this work. I mean, there's a 4-paragraph explanation of all of the different things that they would have to make. And that's why I'm asking, what is the point? What would be the point of that? Other than the fact that, I mean, I get he does have a 7'10" wingspan. But do you want a statue? I mean, is that what they're looking for?
He's a gigantic human, but he's just not very good at basketball.
I don't know. The weekend is here, thank God. We've got the afternoon show coming up today on ESPN Asheville at 3 p.m. Be sure to check us out, the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We'll have more of the covers, the late and breaking news that are going to happen throughout the day. We had Carson Wentz yesterday. Who knows what's going to happen today? Although Drew Brees is meeting with the New Orleans Saints, and for some reason the Twitter machine is all convinced that he is going to decide to come back next year.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
So we'll have the update this afternoon.
It is weird that he hasn't said anything. I will say that much. But I haven't heard anything that leads me to believe he's coming back.
I haven't either, but there's a lot of speculation that he may be making the decision to give it one more college try with this team.
Yeah, there's also rumors that Mo Bamba could end up with the Lakers. And you know why? Because people are bored!
Fair point. At the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. Be sure to like it, share it, and follow it. We'll be live with you on Monday right here from the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
We'll see you this afternoon.